to start the meeting. Does anybody second that? Which one?
Anybody can second that?
Yes.
I will second that.
Alright.
No, it's fine.
Alright, we had the student leadership conference, which I was not a part of. But do you guys wanna do a recap of that? Is there anything we can bring back to ASG?
Emily and I had a couple things, and then, workout sessions that we went to. Yeah, what was it called?
Who are you in with?
That was with Brooke. And Brooke did the first session.
Is a whole day
It was
thing?
it was just like, what kind of leader are you?
Yeah. And then-
Strengths.
So
Yeah,
kind of
your like strengths. It was really kinda nice to be able to like understand like how the people.
Yeah, and kind of like as you were like going through, you could like be like, oh yeah, I'm totally that, oh I'm not that, so it's like kind of being able to compare the two things.
Did they pair you up afterwards? With people of
We
your
didn't do
same
like
strength?
we did an activity after, and yeah, it was just kind of like funny to see like, you know, like a certain type of people take charge and like the other people.
There's actually a whole inventory you can take. Like the thing she was doing with you was based on this thing you take called Strengths Finder, where it'll tell you your top 5 strengths. And then there's like all this research that backs up the results that you get.
There's going to be a class on for that next semester that's open to everybody, by the way.
Here's what it was.
For the strength finders, if you were interested in that.
Cool. Okay, is everybody interested in doing this next time if I make copies? Yeah?
Do
Okay.
you want me, we could see if Brooke would come and facilitate it for you. Or I've worked with that before too, so.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Is that kind of like the personality colors?
It's kind of similar, but it's much more specialized towards where you find your strength, where you have your strengths.
Yeah, I just finished up with the strength finders class today, so I've recently taken the full test that you can do. So,
Cool. Alright, anything else?
I can look at some of the activities associated with it.
Okay. Wakey Day, Sarah?
It was a lot of fun. Got to sit on a bus for a long time.
Lots of snow.
With snow. And then we got to Madison, and apparently they decided to vote on the mining, or not vote, but start talking about the mining bill that day, so I got to meet with my representatives helpers. And Leah, Buckmer's little assistant, is the most awkward man in the world. Rose can vouch.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable conversation.
Did you talk to him about financial aid? We did. Got back one. They didn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
He was
There was
just
no
really
like debate
awkward.
or any.
He was like, well, how much do you want? $1,000,000 now, please.
Yeah, tell them what you wanted.
Yeah.
That's so awkward.
I was like, oh my god. It was
This
just
man
bizarre.
hates everyone.
You want dinner time.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
we're like, just an
I
increase,
enjoy-
please.
Did you get in to see any of your reps?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
You didn't get him?
We
No.
got in to see 2 of ours. It was me and Alex, or both from the Oak Creek region, and we got in to see our senator and our rep. Our rep was not really. He was just kind of coming back from the floor, and he sat down with us. We got blue book things that tell you everything about state government. Yeah, they're massive. So we got to carry those around for the rest of the day. But we appreciated it. You could tell that he was really interested in helping out the tech schools more than others, and so we were trying to sell him on it. And like, well, but the great thing about Wisconsin Tuition Grant is that it gives you the option of a private school, public school, or a tech school, and it seems like, you know, with K through 12 education, that's what you're really about, is providing people with choices, because it's interesting, because they only want to give money to the tech. A lot of the state senators right now really wanna bolster the tech school system, but then in K through 12, they're really trying to move public money towards private financing of private schools, so it's a very different ball game between the two levels, so.
Do you know why they're so interested in the tech schools?
I think it's just a ideological thing. I think they think we're gonna somehow become a much larger manufacturing state than we are if we train all these people in technical skills. And I mean, like you have to train people in that. It's just I don't know. I can tell you my thoughts on it, but I could rail on it for a while.
Wait, so they said that they're pushing private school and tech schools, but not
He didn't
public?
say that. That was
Oh, that's
that
what
was
it
the
seems.
subtext
I mean, that's what
of
they said,
everything
but
that he
yeah.
said was that we would talk to him about the tuition grant and we would keep going back to the value of technical
Oh
schools.
wow, that's frustrating.
You know, the real tough thing about it, and we discussed this a little bit, was just that the hard thing there is that then we're gonna have to compete with Michigan, and they have all these people who are out of work and already trained in technical skills from the auto industry, and so it might, if it hasn't been a boom for them with all these people out of work, then it might be difficult for us to break in. Obviously, it's something that we have to go after, but
Do tech schools qualify for the tuition?
yes, that's the cool thing about it, is that if you wanna pursue higher education, the Wisconsin tuition grant will help you go towards whatever you're interested in. So, that's the sales pitch on it, so. Right now, it's got flat funding. The first thing we did with all of them, even though that guy obviously doesn't support it, was thank them for keeping the fund, or for keeping it flat in a time when other things are getting cut. So, alright, cool, go. Go ahead.
I feel like from my experience, it would have been a lot better if we would have had something prepared
Yeah.
to say. We kind of just went in there and it was kind of awkward, and we should have really written something that would have, I don't know, pushed our opinions. Yeah. So, but I'd go again.
Would it be good to have like a cheat sheet to read ahead of time before
We
walking
did.
in?
We had a cheat sheet.
Yeah, but it wasn't like,
I mean like a week
Little.
ahead of
it
time.
wasn't, but it also, it was like talking points, but there wasn't like, thank the representative for this, you know, like, yeah, obviously you don't want to be too scripted, but like, it sounds like that might
Maybe
be
even
helpful.
like an hour-long workshop,
Yeah.
like the week before or something.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience overall, I think.
So we got to watch the sign.
Yeah, that was really cool. We got to watch the Senate hearings.
They're all flipping out about the mining bill and
Yeah.
People were sitting
A little
there on
bit
their
catty.
phones and talking to each other and getting up and leaving.
What's the running bill?
That's
I
frustrating.
mean, I know what money is, but
They're trying to
stop it or start.
They were trying to stop
it
it.
depends which side you were on.
But yeah.
There's an attempt to build a mine up north, and this legislation clears the way for that. So now there will be all kinds of lawsuits.
Alright, so the latest on the UPass to try to get more student involvement, we're gonna collaborate with Team Green for their roundtable discussion. They're really excited to work with us. So I met with Nisa today. She's working on it. There's like 3 or 4 people that are working on their committee. And so I had just kind of asked how it was gonna flow, how we were gonna do things, and I had said that we might want some visuals or something, and she said that she would like to do a PowerPoint. So I think we have to do something a little bit different. So I thought maybe we could do that video with students giving their opinions of
No.
riding the bus.
Are you going to need an editor for that at all?
Yeah. If you're volunteering.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I know the programs anyway,
Okay.
so, I know the editing programs, and that's partially what I wanna go into, so.
You can stop selling, I think you got the job.
Yeah. She would like to meet again though, maybe this Friday at 5. Are either of you two available by any chance? I know, I told her that wasn't the
Like
bus
me?
date, but
Yeah, I could.
It depends. I have a situation going on right now where I may have to up and leave,
okay.
I can make it.
Yeah?
I think it's 50-50. I might be I will probably know by tomorrow that I can.
Okay.
So.
Okay. At this point, it kind of sounds sounds like we have our own little thing going on where we're not like, they're not talking and we're talking and they're talking and we're talking. It sounds like they're gonna do like an introduction, we're gonna do our thing, and then they're gonna do their thing. So,
Okay.
So is our thing just consisting of the video and theirs is a PowerPoint?
I think we should also get facts though.
yeah, we need,
Is it kinda like what we
Like
presented
question and
last time?
answer, maybe?
yeah, I'd like to do some statistical stuff, I'm not sure.
You could
Do you
incorporate that
want some of the
into
numbers that
video.
I had?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know if maybe we wanna put that on like a poster board or something, cause you don't wanna just sit up there and talk about statistics,
Yeah.
but,
But PowerPoint is already done, cause
Yeah.
it's just cut and paste.
yeah, but
I
they said
mean,
that they were gonna do
if you
PowerPoint,
have,
so I don't know.
I think if you have the video aspect of it, you have the statisticals thrown in there with some catchy music.
Now, this is a roundtable discussion though, right?
Well, oh, okay, I was talking about like
So,
in general for the video.
Are we just, are you just talking a little bit and then it's basically up to the group to talk
Yeah,
about it?
I would say no longer than 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
But just because I don't think it's possible to have everybody be there at that time, so if we videotape it, then it's,
Cool.
we've got those
When are you
opinions.
gonna have the video to record students giving their opinion?
Friday, hopefully,
You mean that she has the people?
yeah. So,
Where are we gonna do that?
I'm not sure. She still has to confirm with the people that they can come, so I'll get a hold of you then.
And the round table is the 18th.
Yes, everybody mark that on your calendars, everybody is gonna be there on the 18th.
Like,
Yes.
same
Okay.
week that the
That
Thursday,
is-
because that means it's on Thursday.
I may,
Always next.
I
That's
may
fine.
be maybe 10 minutes late. I may still placement until noon. Sometimes I get out a little bit early. I'll see if I can schedule it to get out a little bit early that day, but I will be there.
Oh,
Do we
I have work that day.
Okay,
Then we get off
you
like
don't
an
tell
hour.
her she's making up an
Maybe.
excuse.
so, what's that?
Okay.
You don't tell her she's making an excuse.
April 18th, what
She's
time?
notorious.
Have an excuse.
What time is this on April 18th?
You're in the
Noon hour, and it's at that study room across from the
Right across
library,
there.
That's why I
or
thought
this
they were.
bookstore.
It's the day after community day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Be a great time to talk about it.
I'm gonna ask you something.
And we don't have to advertise, so.
Do you, are you gonna contact the DeAndre girl to see if she wants to be the video?
Yeah, I can do that. I would rather have, I'd rather have her be there though, like in person.
I think she could
It'd be
do
kinda cool,
both.
and then she could kind of field questions if she wanted.
Alright, I think it'd be good to ask us, why not to ask her if she works with you?
I have her on Facebook too. So.
Yeah?
And I'm
Oh.
sure that's faster than email because
Yeah.
people never check that
Yeah.
email.
Okay, yeah, if you wanna ask her, that'd be
Is
great.
it Russo
Yeah.
is her last name? Are you?
Yeah, R-U-S-S-O.
Yeah, she liked our Facebook page. No, cause she
She's
really
really sweet
No,
on
I'm talking
it.
about her being
Oh,
a
I was
creeper.
gonna say, yeah, I know.
No, what Facebook is it?
She wrote a while ago on the student government Facebook page, I was seeing how this was going, so she still cares about it.
Yeah,
But she was so floored last year. Yeah.
and I think people expect it to be within the next year too.
So sad.
So-
Another year.
Alright, ASG meeting flyers.
So we don't have the logo yet, so, but I need to know what we want on them, like I have kind of in my head, like, but I need to know the information that's going on there.
I think maybe
Meeting days
Meeting days.
and times.
dates. Dates, place.
Do we want any sort of contact information for anyone?
Yeah,
Who would be
people.
available to put their contact information on there, like maybe just 2 people to contact?
I think don't we have an email address, like
Yeah.
student government,
Does
like
it
ASG checked?
ASG
Yeah,
over.
it gets
gets
distributed to
It's-
everybody
it-
though.
yeah, it's not an email that you log into, it's a distribution list, so like, there's not really an account that you log into, it just means that it goes to whoever's on that list.
Okay,
Like they write to it
so
and then
ASG
everybody.
Yep.
Okay,
Or what about Wendy, cause then she can put it on the agenda if
Yeah.
she needs to.
I get it, like, we all get it, like,
Okay.
that's what the distribution list is, like,
Okay.
you just send it to them and then send to everybody.
Okay.
You don't have a
I saw that
Facebook
log.
page on there too?
Yeah,
we
like
have a Facebook
us.
page.
Should make a Twitter page and be like,
I can't
follow
handle
her.
that.
Just thinking like
Can't
everybody,
handle
what they say, like us, follow us.
Like us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, anything you can think of.
Alright, and t-shirts or vests,
okay,
sweater
so-
vests.
I looked at pricing for both sweater vests without monogram in it.
Don't laugh.
One at least $30
Is she
a
the one
piece,
that asked
plus
you
you
for
have to get the
sweater
monogram.
vests? I'm okay with it.
Okay, hold on.
She was
So,
too.
T-shirts, I made a list.
Can we get like a t-shirt with a sweater vest printed on it?
That would be actually something interesting.
Like,
T-shirts, the average price I got was around $14.
Each?
Yes. There's higher discounts for the more shirts you order.
right, fair minimum from the.
For some sites, yes. I have maybe like 4 sites that were like easy to use and would be easy to design a shirt on. The lowest is $10, but they have very limited style sizes and they only have 3 like base colors for the shirt. And the most expensive is $20 and they have the biggest assortment. I really liked, I think it was Custom Ink, and that was $14, like right in the middle.
There's one, I think it's called like Mountains Greenery or something
I
like
looked at that
yeah.
one, that one was pricey because it
Oh.
was,
I think when you order more, maybe they're cheaper then, cause that was always the, like, we had to go through them at Parkside cause they were cheapest.
but I mean, we're only
Yeah.
ordering for maybe like 10 people,
Yeah.
so that the discount isn't that much.
Cool.
What did you, what were the pricing differences with like different color photos?
Cause I remember when we
The
tried doing
color,
it
okay,
for
you
like
pay
whole
for,
colors.
I did random color, the flame is just to take place of the logo, but you pay for the shirt and then it's pretty much one color printing, you can get a different color on the back that adjusts the price a little bit. But it doesn't matter what color you print it in.
Oh, that's good, cause last time I was pricing them, like the logo just threw everything off. It was
Just
so
because,
expensive.
and I think that's because the logo, it had like black, gray, and black,
Yeah,
and
the-
considering it's 3 colors.
If you do more than one solid color, it's generally
Way
gonna
up.
go up by a significant amount because they have to re-put them through.
So when we design the logo, we should try to keep it at one
Try to
color.
keep it
I
at
like
one
the
color.
yellow
Yeah.
and purple.
Yeah.
That's the one I like. This
do
was
a-
supposed
Yeah,
to be
that's
gray.
really cool.
You can do a multicolored logo, but it has
It
to
has
be
to
so
translate
translates
into-
well, yeah.
Just a 2-tone. So, I mean, if whoever designs it, if they do one with 3 colors, as long as we can translate it into 2 colors, we'll be fine. So,
Who's designing the logo?
um,
That term.
Dara's graphic design
right, the
basic
class.
class,
Oh.
yeah. I should,
When is that? Do we have like an update on that? Like,
okay, so Dara is very scattered. She doesn't answer emails very quickly. I mean, she's nice, she's good to work with, but she's not very prompt about getting back to things. Her classes are finish the assignment, like, before the end of the semester.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure how many ideas there are. I can say, I can ask her, how many logos do you honestly definitively have done? Have you even introduced this to the class yet?
Just to get an update on it.
Yeah, I have class with her tomorrow, so I can talk to her about it tomorrow, either before or after class.
Yeah.
And I can probably just send her an email.
It'd probably be good to have it a little bit before the end of the semester so we can
Yeah.
vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, is that a no to the sweater vest?
There's
I think
a
it's
lot.
fine, it just depending on how it looks.
I don't know what you'd wear. Okay, honestly, I don't know what I would wear a sweater vest with. I don't know how you wear them.
Nothing.
And I think
Nothing underneath.
I think it's easier to dress up in
wear
a
it when
t-shirt
you
than to
work at a
dress down a
bank.
sweater vest. Personally.
That's true. I think we were just jealous because we were seeing other like people there with sweater vests at Waku.
So classy.
Yes,
I
it's
think
very
it's
classy.
easier to dress up in a t-shirt than to dress down.
Yeah.
One thing when
That's
you talk
true.
to her tomorrow, she hasn't even started it, maybe we can ask that one of the things is that it can only be 2-tone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good thought. Awesome.
She hasn't already done it.
All right, napkin holders, Wendy.
I found out from Linda the size is 4 inches by 6 inches, and they would need 50 of them. And she said, as far as like reserving them, you kind of just go and see if they have the space available. So I don't remember if we wanted to do that for our meetings or for the round table or what we want to use them for, but that's the size.
Let's do for the round table if we can.
For the round table. And then is there a flyer already made up that we can kind of shrink down, or do we have to create something for it?
No, Team Green is working on the flyer. I have an email of who's working on it if you want me to email her.
So I mean, then they could just probably go ahead and do it if they're working on the publicity for it. Just tell them if they can email Linda to see if they can get the napkin holders in.
Okay. Alright, fundraising. I was gonna ask you, Tom, I had emailed Brooke about the craft fair, and she said that she didn't think there was one this semester. Is that true?
Brooke would know as well as I would, better than I would, actually, so she says she doesn't think there's one, then it means that she probably hasn't been approached about one at all.
Okay.
So someone somewhere out there might be planning a craft fair, but they haven't done paperwork on it yet at all.
Got it.
That might be, Jean Shallow in the department office. I think generally you contact her about it.
Do you want
At
me
least
to
as far
contact
as
her
we're
tomorrow and find out?
Just to see if
Yeah.
they're planning on having one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, do you know, just do them ourselves? Just make a bunch of stuff and sell it.
Do you have to pay a fee to be in?
RG does that.
I think you
So
just
pay to
pay a
sell.
deposit for a table.
What if we held one
They
ourselves?
don't necessarily do well when they do them by themselves.
They
Not
they
like
don't,
Buy ourselves, we
the-
have to be like sponsored one.
cause I know the
Oh, you mean ASG hold a craft fair and like invite the groups who usually do it?
they're outside people a lot. Like there are some Alberta students that'll have a table, but there's also outside vendors that come in because they've had permission, and there's a whole process with that. I know Art Tourage, the art group, we do art carts every once in a while, and those are like just like they don't really advertise them, and even if we did, a lot of people honestly don't come to them. If they do their craft fair, that's the better option because there's so much publicity surrounding it. People kind of anticipate to bring money. But if there's not, then I mean we could still do one. But if there is one, it'd be better to do it during that time.
Okay, so who's the contact person?
Jean Shallow.
Okay.
But Tom said you're gonna find out if she's planning them.
Yeah, that's who plans the craft fairs when they
That's
do
who
them?
we've been told to contact in the past. I'm not sure if she's the one that plans it, but I'm thinking she would know.
If like if she's.
I'll contact Jean tomorrow.
Okay.
She's in administrative over in the music department?
She's in the Alfonso, she's art,
Yeah,
music.
general art.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had gotten approached, from Four Corners. They're, a fair trade company. They're way on the other side of town. I found that out when I went to visit them. And they said that they wanted to do kind of a sponsorship event where they would come on campus and sell their stuff, and they would give us 10% of their profit, but in return, we have to advertise that they're coming on campus. So, and I had met with him, his name's Mike, his wife, they're really nice. And we were looking at maybe April 24th, cause Chica is doing, some food events, but we're not sure that we can have the spot anymore. So,
It's not available, do you have like a plan B date?
no, they really wanted to do something where there's some kind of cultural thing where they can kinda tie it together. So maybe I'll have to look at the calendar and see if there's anything like that. Brooke had said she didn't think there was.
Well, we have, when is the St. Patrick's event? I mean, that's kinda culturally.
That's Thursday.
Oh, that's the, oh, never mind, never mind.
St. Patrick's Day's on Saturday.
I would say
Yeah.
most of their
Fine.
stuff is from South America, so maybe, something along that line.
I would talk to, if you're looking for one in particular, I would talk to Adacola Adagapo.
Yeah, the culture.
Or,
How do you spell her name?
I can contact her if you want.
yeah, I would just, did I say her last name right? I always,
Adadapo.
Adadapo, okay, I always get, for some reason I always add a G instead of a D. But, yeah, she would be the best person to contact because,
She always does.
yeah.
So just ask her if she has any like cultural event thing.
Yeah, and nothing like not in the next like 2 weeks or anything, like I think they need a little bit of time to organize.
Do you know what kind, do you know if you have to do special paperwork for that? Since it's outside people coming in and
I'll
there's
find
some
out.
stuff?
I'll find out.
And also, can you find out like what the guidelines are, like if they, I don't know, they had said that sometimes they run into problems with selling food, like food and beverages.
Oh, like if they don't have food license or something?
Yeah. And I mean, they're not like selling like homemade food, like it'd be like coffee and candy bars and stuff.
Yep,
Okay,
find out.
so I'll email you guys the date. Okay, and Erica's not here.
I actually went to one of the Buffalo Wild Wings fundraisers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
it was for WCPC in Waukesha, and they came into my work and gave you like a coupon, and it has like the date and the night, and you give that to your waitress or waiter at the end of your meal, and then they donate, I wanna say it was 15%, and then they also did like a raffle.
How do they distribute the coupons?
I think
They
they just
give
went
them,
around.
they give them to the group who's sponsoring it, and then it's the group's responsibility to pass them out, because they will only give the discount to people who show that coupon thing. And I know Erica said when she did it for
You could get-
Sherm, that they were there the night of the event giving them out to people like, oh, show this to your waitress so we can get.
Oh, nice.
They
You can do
also
that, like you can do
do-
that in the parking lot, that's not like,
I think they just
I think
walked
they
around
were
and didn't sit
inside
on a
the
table.
restaurant. I don't think they were outside, but I don't think it was a problem.
I know in the dorms they
person.
put them in their mailboxes.
Yeah. And then
You could ask.
does somebody wanna take that out, cause Erica hasn't been at the
she's
meetings
always
lately.
like, I can ask her more details about it, like how she went about
What's the
setting
whole
up.
Wild Wings we wanna do it at?
Probably on the 27th, the closest one.
Yeah.
And when we see Erica this week, I don't know, if you see her first, ask her, otherwise I will, just if she's still interested in student
Well,
government.
whenever I've asked her, she's coming to a meeting, she says something just comes up, but I'll ask her if she still wants to.
Okay. And bake sales, we missed our last bake sale, cause we couldn't organize it fast enough.
And we have
it was-
crazy snow 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so we missed our Saturday one that we were gonna do, but we have one coming up on Tuesday.
That is,
Midterm.
I won't be able to
Is it
help
really
that
midterm?
until
Is it really?
12
Yeah.
midterm.
That's the worst time.
Then I'm not gonna be able to make these at work all day.
Why did we not see that when we were picking up cakes?
I have no idea.
I think midterms are coming up.
What if we did it like
Oh wait, no, we got it.
There's still a Saturday in this month though, I think.
The 23rd.
No.
The 23rd is
Right.
Weaver College,
I
but
won't be
Sab is doing like this free cookie thing, so I don't think we
Oh,
wanna ask for
really?
donations.
I won't be here.
Cause we have midterms and then break.
See, like I could make something for Tuesday, but I would not be able to either to like sit at the table until. Actually, I don't know. I'm helping out the art mid sem, so I probably wouldn't even. I would be there for like a half hour.
Do we
so
still wanna
yeah.
have it then on the 19th? Cause I don't know how we missed that it was weekday assessments, and I mean, I don't know where like people are even on campus or how dead it is. I haven't been on campus.
I wouldn't do that because it's pretty dead
It's
because
pretty dead.
not all classes have midterm
Right.
semester
I don't
assessments, and
know.
if people don't have them, then they don't come out.
Yeah, it looks like they're pretty big blocks during the day for the ones that do have them.
So you can't even target like a lunch period.
Okay, let's scratch that
What
then.
if we did like April, like nice spring cookies or
We're gonna do
something?
April 21st, and everyone can bring me birthday
What?
cake.
Can you cancel the paperwork for it, or should I email Brooke?
We'll cancel it. Brooke is gone for a week.
April 21st, I was
really?
joking.
April, so I think Tuesdays are good, Tuesdays and a Saturday.
Yes. Tuesday.
April what?
Tuesday.
We-
Second, no.
Can we do it right away?
Oh, we could do the second, that's the day after break.
Yeah.
I mean, I can check if it's available.
Yeah. April second.
Yeah, but we're not gonna meet to really
Yeah.
talk about it.
How about the 9th? That would be the week after.
Then we have a meeting the
Yes,
second.
we have a meeting the second. We
Yeah.
could do it the next week, the
That makes
9th.
more sense.
We could try the 9th.
The 9th. And what's the next weekend college?
It's either the week before or the
The
week after.
7th and the 21st. Or the 13th and 6th.
The 13th isn't.
Yeah, 6th and 20th, I'm all confused.
6th and 20th.
Probably the 20th if we wanna talk about it beforehand then.
I'm pretty sure we'll get the 20th because not many people have events on Saturday. I just don't know about the Tuesday one because it's kind of coming up. It's April 9th.
That's crazy that that's coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like in terms of like.
So like,
It's disgusting face there. You really outdid yourself.
I mean, it's not coming up, but in terms of like getting paperwork in, that takes several days.
Right.
So.
still like
I'll
28
check.
days away or something like that. I think it's 26.
It's coming up, Tom. It's
Cause
coming
my
up.
birthday is in like, oh, this is spelling, a month, a week and 2 days.
When's your birthday?
42 actually.
All right, Community Day. Do we have any?
The only reason I put it on here is because I'm pretty sure the big group registration is closed, but like single registration.
It's closed already?
I don't know if
it
it's
was open.
closed.
Yeah.
I knew it was like a week ago, but tomorrow starts the individual sign up at like
Where do you
8
go to
a.m.
sign up?
on the webpage.
I haven't seen it.
Well,
It starts
webpage
at 8
Last year I
think
feel
so.
like they really
I feel
used
really
the webpage.
blindsided.
And they fill up super quickly. I remember my freshman year when I wanted to go, like I got up just to sign up like right when it hit 8 o'clock because it's crazy how fast they fill up.
What's
Do
the
they
webpage?
still need team leaders?
I still need team leaders, I still need press people.
I would
Now,
love to
one
do
thing I can tell you is that
I'll do
Rose is a driver, and if we wanted to, I could throw
Oh,
a
I'm
couple,
helping with her.
I could throw a couple of you in Rose's car to do press team.
I'm pressed
Yeah,
on
let's
so
do it.
fun.
Go do
Hey,
it.
let's do press team.
What's the webpage to sign up?
I don't know it
Or
like
where
what it
can
is,
you
but you
find
could
it?
probably go to like off the main webpage, go to like
I'm sure
You could
there's
search
like a
community
student
day.
life.
Our
Or-
search
okay.
box actually works now.
Who wants to do press team in Rose's car? I can send 2 of you with her.
We don't
Oh, dude.
have to
I'm
do.
probably gonna do a Zoom
Oh,
event,
okay.
so I think.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you just dying to get out of your,
No, I'm saying well
your
because
box?
she was doing it, I figured I could.
Sarah and Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Okay, do we still have to sign ourselves up then?
I'll let you know. You don't, or actually, she doesn't because she's a team leader. Press team.
Oh wait, I forgot I said yes to that.
Press team, let me find out if I'm gonna sign you up or if you need. Actually, no, sign yourselves up. But when it asks what you're signing up for, put what is it? It's basically you sign up that you're part of the group that's planning the event. I think it's what's that? Planning committee. There you go, or something like that, or something along those lines.
When does it open up?
You'll recognize it because it's the
Most
only one that.
likely 8 a.m., but I don't.
I can't remember exactly how they had it worded, but it's the only one that implies that you're part of the team that's running
Okay.
it.
Does that fill up fast? Is that something
No,
that I should
because
wake
only
up
people
early?
that I've talked to about doing it can sign up for, are supposed to sign up for it.
Oh, okay.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
About community day. So right now are the list of sites on the community day section?
I think they are. I know that tomorrow everything will be live because that's when sign up starts.
It's campus
But
live
what's
slash
the time
community
that I
day.
have work early in
Okay.
the morning?
Do you need any
But I
more team
mean,
leaders?
if you're on the main
I
Alberta
do.
webpage,
I did
you
last
choose
year.
community day, it's the first
Would
one.
you be up for doing that?
Sure.
What do you do as a team leader?
Like,
You
run
make
the-
sure everyone's happy.
They're
Yeah,
never, they're
basically-
never happy.
I don't know.
They go to a site.
They're never.
They go to a site and you're there to kind of help make sure that people understand what they're supposed to be doing. You help to get them there, you help to make sure everyone's there when they come back. And if there's issues while you're there, then you've got the phone numbers and stuff to get a hold of people back here
Okay,
at
I
campus.
Do you
called people
choose?
and no one answered their phones.
I will have my cell, so unless I'm on with
Okay.
someone else.
As a team leader though, do you choose which site you're at or do you guys choose that?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'm assigning the team leader, so if you have something in mind and someone else wanted to go with Rose in her car, then you let me know and I can probably set it up.
Could you let me know, because Amy wants me to try to use it like an event for a CA, so like if I can have my residents sign up for the same one.
Which site are you interested
You
in?
have
I
to,
no idea what sites
you
it
have
is.
to
Can
call.
you shoot me an email, can you look and then shoot me an email tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow?
Probably
Can I-
tonight.
Can
Okay.
I?
Try and go with one of the larger ones
Yeah.
because the small, like if one only has like 12 people signed up for it,
Yeah.
I've already probably got one team leader and I probably only need one, but if it's a big site, I bet I need another team leader.
Is it okay if I look it up right now?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
The sites I have it.
Yeah.
Well, because I have
Well,
my full computer right
We
here,
actually
so-
have big discussion items here coming up in the meeting, so rather than people can email stuff about community day, just cause we need some time to talk about it.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna skip to that right now, cause it looks like we have
What
20
are you
minutes
skipping
left. Student activity fee.
Okay.
Okay, just as an FYI for the drag show, just really quick, I can talk about that next time. It's not important that you know it at this exact moment, cause it's just helping set up decorations.
You can also put out an email to ASG if there's anything you need to let everyone know about.
Yeah. Okay, Tom very nicely wrote up this sheet of things that we need to be aware of, the questions we need to ask ourselves. Do you wanna maybe just run through what,
Yeah, it's a little bit stream of consciousness, but what it is it's a lot of the questions that we need to ask ourselves before we have what I call a finished proposal, that we can take and get approved.
oh, maybe I should mention that I had kind of taken a previous proposal, and looked at a couple of other proposals from schools and kind of put them together.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really rough draft, but Tom had kind of looked at it and got some questions from it.
Yeah, so what Rose gave me was part of a previous proposal from here and some things from some other institutions. But I think in order for us to put it forward, we gotta make sure that the student government we have right now is behind it too. And so, I mean, it's time to bring everyone else into the bigger discussion about this. And so we got a number of questions to ask ourselves, and that's basically what this is. Questions about how much we charge, because I know that we kind of threw out some numbers, and I think they're based on the last,
No, we did it ourselves.
okay.
We came up with those ourselves.
Alright, so we threw out numbers of like $25 for a full-time student, $15 for a part-time student. Adds up to $111,000 a year. But I think we need to think about a couple things that when we're figuring it out. Things like, do we start with the numbers like that and figure out how to spend the money, or do we come up with kind of here's everything that we want to get, and then figure out how much the fee is to keep it lower? The other thing is if we do it that way, is there a better chance that maybe we could keep it low enough to also add on bus pass? The other question, I was asking, was, do we just supplement what SAB's already got and they keep their budget that they have now, or do we absorb all of that SAB budget?
What do you mean by that? You just supplement
Right
it?
now we have $12,000 that we use for programming, about another $5,000 that we use on food. So with this activity fee, if we wanted to keep it real low, we could say, well, we're just gonna supplement that with another $10,000 or with another, $850,000, So that's rough estimate.
Can you explain what you would do with that money?
No, what's that?
Can you explain what you do with that extra money?
Basically what's, one of the goals of the institution is to create a more vibrant student life here on campus. With extra money, SAB, well, we'd kind of do the same thing that our student orgs would be doing with it, which is that when resources are limited, a lot of stuff gets cut back. We could take our programming to another level. We could get another class of entertainer. The homemade programs that we do could be a lot better. We've been scaling those
Are you trying to
back.
say they're not good?
No, no, but we've been scaling back. One of the things, with even Alverno Idol, something as cheap as that, like we had to take all the cash prizes down. They're half this year what they were last year. A lot of events where we're doing, we're crafty stuff, we're kind of skipping on that type of thing. And there's been some of these events in the Commons where, like, it's a noon to 1 program. We order food and it's out by like 12:20, and it's gone. So, but the bigger thing would be that the contracted performers that we bring in, it would put us in another class as far as those go, and we'd be able to bring in more of that type of thing, and those have gone over pretty well. So there'd be a lot of opportunities for us, but I think the bigger impact actually might even be through some of the org budgets that we'd be putting out there, and we'll get to that in a second, because I think the energy of our student organizations is kind of wasted on fundraising here on campus. I think like fundraising is always good, but when they're putting all their energy into that, you don't get any of the programming, or you lose a lot of the programming that they might be offering to the campus in terms of social and educational opportunities. And so that's kind of, all of that stuff put together is kind of the why behind the student activity fee, along with some other stuff like providing a budget for student government so we can, one, operate, but two, this would add a lot of paperwork to this body. I mean, we would have a lot of meetings, particularly about budget and about allotting money to organizations, and then throughout the year our paperwork would go up exponentially, which would mean that I don't think it would be out of line to say small stipends for at least the executives who were taking on the bulk of that extra admin work would be out of line. The other thing that it would do would allow this group to co-sponsor some programs. The other really, really cool thing it would offer this group a chance to do would be that we would have what would be called I keep calling it contingency fund. I think a better idea might be to call it the programming and conference fund or something along those lines, because that's really what it would be for, would be that student organizations would be able to get budgets under this, and we'd have to come up with some system by which we figure out how much each org got, either determining each year or determining it by a formula based on, you know, how many years they've been active or that type of thing. But what was left over at the end of that would be available through student government for groups to come and say, we want to do this large scale program, we need $800 to put it on, come present to this group, and then student government or a committee of student government would determine what their whether or not they got programming money. So basically it'd be a chance for us to directly fund large-scale campus programming and fund some of the student org efforts to go to conferences and things like that.
And it would also kind of give us a say in what's going on campus
Yep.
as well.
And actually,
Opens a lot of doors for us as a body.
yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
And to throw this out there is that it gives you a bit of self-determination, but also what it does is it helps student affairs in particular, but the campus as a whole, accomplish goals that are on our campus, on the campus master plan. And when we do strategic planning, creating a vibrant campus community is one of the things that is high on the list. And so basically it's for, you know, $25 a person to accomplish a major strategic goal is a pretty good way to go, especially when it's done while giving students more direct say over their money.
And like I told Tom earlier, it's like we put in so much money towards like bake sales and stuff, so it's not like, I mean, we're already paying that in. It's not anything
I don't know if you
extra.
all know this too, but I told Rose this earlier. Brooke and Jenny and a few of the other people have, I think for a year or two now, been working on this plan that will take a lot of the student affairs stuff and move it down into this first floor hallway. And there'd be somewhat of a renovation that would make it look less like a high school hallway, I think. But it would mean that a lot of stuff that is more involvement related would be kind of right here where you walk by it. From an admission standpoint, I think that's great. Where there would be a programming space that's somewhere over here by the more by the commons, with staging and stuff like that, because we're gonna lose the mug. That's going back to Res Life. There would be I think they call it the logo store, but essentially the bookstore and stuff like that. I don't know what some of this stuff is, but there would be this long corridor with a lot of student affairs offices, and on the other side of the office, other side of the hallway, would be a lot of stuff related to student organizations. And one of the things, I can't give you sizes, I'm not sure. There would be, one thing would be a student org room that would have computers and things like that, where student orgs could make their publicity, where they, you know, maybe a little bit of storage, that type of thing. But the other thing I was talking to Rose about is one of the things that we might be able to supply is, say, you know, like, all right, your student org gets this many copies each semester for your publicity and stuff like that. That seems like a perfect type of thing for student activity fee, because it goes straight into student orgs for something that right now, like if we want to print stuff, you guys can send it to me because I'm your advisor and I'll just do it, but technically you're all supposed to run stuff on your own student account, right, for your student organizations?
Yeah, that goes to
So that would be a great thing to be able to do. But that room, right, next to it would be one that would be another small workroom that would essentially be, you know, the stuff SAB has up crammed in our SAB office.
Yeah.
We have like 8 times as much stuff in there as actually fits in the space. It would be a workroom that would, for SAB, but then like the backside of that, out towards the windows, would be 2 offices. One would be a SAB office and one would be an ASG office. So, work out pretty cool.
That'd be really awesome because people don't even know where student life stuff is a lot of the time, just because it's all the way like in Alfonso and like this part of campus is where like the most traffic is.
Yeah.
So that'd be such a good idea.
Yeah, we
One
got,
of these, cause I saw the plans for like a lot of the stuff that they wanna do or that Mary like is working on getting the money for, like that.
The commons thing that they
Yeah, it
showed, that was
looks
really
amazing.
cool.
Like all their new ideas and plans look so good, and I saw the student activity kind of what they're thinking for that. But like how, I mean, that's obviously gonna take years.
we're talking a couple of years from now is when they're hoping to do it. There's people coming to look at furniture in my office to see what they can use this week. I'm not saying that means it's gonna happen quick, but it's at a point where
It's gonna get rolling.
it's at a point, it's kinda like the building that they want built over there, where it's like money is one of the only holdups. There's not a lot of pushback on,
Okay.
on this stuff.
Yeah, I was
Where's
just
the
curious
building
if
over
that
there
was-
going?
You're talking about Alfonso?
Our
There's one, there's a building that's gonna have, I know part of it's gonna be arts, although stupid, they're throwing it back into the basement again.
yeah, I
Um,
don't get that.
No, dumb.
No, wait,
Um,
they're putting
but-
the lights back in the basement.
But it'll be
Yeah.
new and it'll be state-of-the-art art facility.
And
And then, one floor of it's gonna be like nursing, but they're gonna have like, they're gonna have it set up.
State of the art nursing
Yeah.
stuff.
So,
It looked
it's gonna be
amazing.
awesome. But anyways, alright, we're off
I was
topic
gonna say,
again.
the art
Like
club
a
was-
science area.
Alright, so all of this is related, but,
Nothing.
one of the things I could say, that student org space would be something that would need to be funded, and that seems like something that would be good for us,
That's so
to work with. Partially because Brooke and I were like, that's awesome, we're gonna have student org space, but we don't have any budget for it, so. A lot of this stuff, is things that we could work on, and the other thing is that, if it came in that we wanted to charge less or we wanted to charge more, we've got some space and we've got other stuff that we can fund, but we've got some real questions to ask. Like the thing about the SAB, programming, but I guess maybe org budgets would be what we could maybe get covered tonight.
Yeah, I mean, financially, I feel like this is really, really overwhelming.
Mhm.
Like when you start thinking of where you need to start.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if maybe we wanna talk about tiers.
Yeah, alright. Okay, so, one of the things that we were looking at is with orgs. You might have a brand new student organization that hasn't done a thing on campus that just started right at the beginning of the school year this year. Or you might have an org that's got a ton of members that's been really active for the last like 5 or 10 years. And so one of the things we were thinking about is, how do you budget as far as, you know, on our end, how do you budget for that and say, you know, we're gonna give, you know, you can't say we're just gonna give student orgs each one this much money. They also, a lot of campuses do a process where every year orgs come in and they can ask for money. Very, very involved process. I'd totally be up for it. But I don't know if we wanted to do that or if we wanted to do something that's a little bit more formulaic and then say, if they want more, then we'll do it through our programming fund. Because it's very difficult to know what you'd give folks, because a lot of our, you can't even go based on programming sometimes, because a program's not just a program. Some of our orgs put on gigantic programs, you know, how do you count that against, you know, a very small, you know, a much smaller program. And so, one of the things that we had talked about is maybe doing tiers, and maybe doing them based on years of active service, but also taking into account people's membership. And again, becomes tricky because then we start talking about like, some groups will maintain a big roster of people, or like, you know, student nurses, every student might be involved, every nursing student might be involved in it, but not really, you know, like
So,
active
like,
membership is way
members versus,
smaller.
like-
So I think it'd be so cool if we did that board thing,
Yeah.
where we came in kind of like a grant. I mean,
Yeah.
not like a grant, but it would be like really cool to see
Yeah.
that process.
Yeah, it's very
such a good
cool,
learning
it's
experience.
hours and hours and hours, which I don't mind spending, but I want you all to know before we determine the process, what you're getting into. 'cause that becomes really interesting. And generally, what you do is you give people 15 minutes. In fact, every place I've been, and I put out things to all the schools today in Wisconsin, and all of them that have gotten back to me, groups get 15 minutes to sell their budget for the year to you, and then at the end of it, you make decisions on who gets what. That's one way to do it.
Did they say like how they distribute the money though, like what their formula is?
A lot of them don't have one, but also some of these schools are working with way more money than we have, and
Yeah.
and they have a tradition of students being entrusted with large amounts of money. My only problem is that if we make that sum too big, that's just kind of discretionary under student government. I don't know if this place is conservative enough that we might have trouble getting it passed.
I personally like the idea of like
Not conservative politically, but just in the sense of that would be a big change. You know what I mean? So.
I personally like the idea of having the student government
Yeah.
decide where it goes, but I don't know if that kind of leaves too many open doors as far as trying to explain it, like
Yeah.
if a formula is better.
You know what's nice though is that so many other schools do it that way that with the emails I was getting back today, I'm starting to see like that we would be able to build a really good case that all these other schools do it that way, but at the same time, you know as well as I do, like the people who are here, a lot of them have been here forever. And they did their undergrad here, and they did their grad school here, and then they came to work here, and you know, like, and it's okay. That's okay, and it's
It's just
no,
so
it,
true.
I mean
We
it's
seem like five
it's
people
okay, and it's
now.
one of the things that makes it really cool, but it also makes it difficult to create change. And so it would be really interesting to see what we could be entrusted with. The other thing is that we could do is do kind of a combination of the two, which would be maybe if you fall in a certain category, you know, members below a certain point, or you know, under a certain number of years active, that your max budget is this amount. But if you are above a certain number of members, or you've been active on campus for X numbers of years, then you can come and submit your budget. That would cut down on the number of meetings you all would sit in, and it would weed out. And those groups, say a group was a first year group, but they were gung-ho about a big program, they could come get money through your programming fund. So that might be a middle ground where you could determine what happened with a lot of the money, but then do some of it by formula for some of the younger student organizations. I don't know.
That'd be interesting. I
Yeah.
think that would be such a cool experience
And I think
for
it's-
everyone.
I think you make a really good point, but to put a limit on it,
Mhm.
like a max, you know, you can't keep coming asking for more just because you keep doing big events type of thing. Like after a certain point, then you know you gotta start fundraising.
Well, I'm just talking for their initial budget. I mean, like,
Right.
But yeah, I think where people would run into trouble there would just be that as a group you would probably be like, well, we've given you a lot, we want to give other groups chances, but that would kind of be.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to have that in written.
I think that happens politically. That happens where they come in and it's like, all right, we've given you guys a lot of money.
This is the third time you said it here.
Yeah.
We also kind of have some kind of plan where, like, you know, if you like co-sponsor events,
Oh,
That's-
we'd look like half and
like
half.
we'd look more we'd favor you more if you
It's-
co-sponsored more.
It's real easy to write a lot of that stuff in too, because what's great is when I was at Parkside and groups had to come do this type of thing, Student Organizations Council was a group there that had money like this, and they had kind of like a how to ask us for money type of thing, and so it talked people through the process of submitting a proposal, but also like told them like, you know, like these things will be looked on
Like the
favorably.
requirements.
And one of them was also how much are you contributing as a group to this? So like, if a group is asking you for $800, that's a really cool program, but they've got $2,000 left in their budget and they're not contributing anything. At that point, it's just like, well, all right, like why aren't you spending $500 on this and asking us for $300? Sorry, I spit on myself.
Okay.
But you can see the type of issues we're getting into here. They're not easy decisions, and
And I don't wanna make them all by myself, guys.
Is
I need some
all-
input.
All those decisions would be included in the proposal so that they know what our plan is.
When Rose and I have been talking with, because there's not a history here of entrusting student government with a lot of this stuff, what we've been thinking is that the more we've got our crap together to tell them
Right.
what's
The more they'll
happening with
trust
this, the better off we are.
There's gonna be a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of questions, but I think ultimately, like, you know, I've seen these processes with student government and it works. It's just a matter of that, I think.
Setting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So do we
Well,
vote
and
on
it's not like we're blindly doing it, like obviously you would, or like there'd be somebody.
like an advisor?
Yeah,
all
it's not
of
like
us.
it's
Yeah,
just
but
us.
it would be your say. It would,
Right,
your
but if you
advisor's,
saw something really, really
your
wrong,
advisor's always there to
obviously.
help you, and the other thing is that, I hate to say this, but like if anything is just ever just horribly wrong, like, you know,
Like just
Brooke
giving
and I aren't gonna
different-
sign off on paperwork anyway, this is
Mhm.
like, they're getting 6 kegs at this, you know, like,
Right, like
you know,
obviously that's not gonna happen, you know.
And that money would have to go through activities. So Brooke and I would be signing on for a lot more paperwork, but
So it'd be like approved by ASG, but then it gets passed on to you guys to make sure
yeah,
everything's
because
like.
you know how you have your,
There's still
you know how
a
you
lot
have
of
your,
control on their part.
you know how you have your money privately off campus right now? The institution, there's no way liability wise that they could just write checks, nor would they ever just write checks to student organizations to take to an off-campus bank and do what they wanted with. But the way it would be set up, it would be that mostly be for campus programming and that type of thing. And so, similar to anything else, if someone comes, you know, if SAB needs money right now, we write a check more than 2 weeks more than 2 weeks in advance, we request a check and, you know, it's ready to go when we need it. It'd be that type of deal.
Do they submit like receipts and stuff?
Sorry. You have no idea how, like, bad this is. No, but basically what happens with our stuff is that we try to, if it's a big expense, we try to avoid doing just like reimbursements. We try and take care of stuff ahead of time with like check requests and stuff. But yeah, we could do that. We'd have to come up with a policy though for, are we doing, you know, just receipt reimbursement for these groups, or are we just doing?
No, I wouldn't wanna do receipt reimbursement, but like, you give somebody $300 and you don't know that it
Oh.
actually went to the event.
No, they have to.
Mhm.
A lot of times what you need is an invoice on the front end or that, or everything gets verified before money is spent. The other thing is a check that's made out to a particular place, there's not much they can go do with it, that's not, you know.
Sketchy.
Yeah, so I mean, at the point where it's signed over to a particular company, there's a limited amount they can do to mess around with it, and then we look for a receipt. So usually it's not even done through a receipt, it's done through the invoice on the front end, so we absolutely know what it's going towards.
Okay.
So are these questions, you said you don't wanna make the decisions on your own, so do we vote on these, like, as a group?
Yeah,
Do
we're
you wanna
going
start
to.
voting on them now? Like,
I don't think we're there yet, I think people need to
We
think
didn't
about
really
it.
talk about it.
Yeah,
So
and our
cool.
meeting's pretty much over. But I think the one thing we have to work on right now is, trying to build a case of why we need this and how it's gonna work. And I think we get that by looking at other student government, I wouldn't say proposals, but I would say, maybe their system.
Are you all right with getting flooded with the emails a little bit tomorrow? Cause I could forward you the stuff from all these student affairs professionals.
Yeah,
Cause I think I've gotten 4 or 5 back in the last few hours,
that'd be awesome.
from that. And almost all of them have been saying the same thing, which is that the money goes to student government, and student government determines what happens from there.
So to kinda like get a foot rolling, do we wanna like not give homework, but like, you know, tell everybody to like look over the questions and come next week with like your idea and like where you stand on something?
Yeah, you
So we
guys
can
come
start
prepared,
making
maybe write
decisions.
some notes on this.
So we can start like making decisions on these questions.
Yeah.
Even us and Dawn sit down maybe one night and try to.
That would be
come up with
nice,
something.
yeah.
Do we have this board here next time? Do we have to reserve that? That's really nice.
Yeah, I know that's not
Let's
there
do it.
because we reserved it, but we can,
Yeah.
For what day?
for, our next meeting.
Is that, are we having a meeting next week or?
I'll the week after.
The week
That's
after.
great.
No, that's spring break.
April 2nd at 6 p.m. in this room.
Okay. Come April 2nd, ready to talk about this. If people have questions about it, if you're looking at it and you have questions, you can include me and Rose on